Trade Triumphs and Rare Earth Realities, a new chapter in U.S.-China relations. Welcome back, listeners, to another deep dive into the stories shaping our world. Today, we're unpacking a significant development in global trade and geopolitics, as the United States and China have struck a landmark deal that could ripple through economies and industries worldwide. This agreement, forged through intense negotiations and high-level diplomacy, touches on everything from rare earth minerals to the fentanyl crisis and even soybean exports. So let's break it down and explore why this matters to you, whether you're a tech enthusiast, a farmer, or just someone trying to understand the bigger picture. The story begins with a pivotal meeting between President Trump and President Xi Jinping, following days of tough negotiations in Malaysia between their respective teams. The result? A deal that's being hailed as a reset in U.S.-China relations, built on mutual respect and strategic compromise. At the heart of this agreement is a one-year pause on China's recently announced export controls on rare earth minerals, those critical components in everything from smartphones to electric vehicles. Back in October, China shocked the world by threatening to restrict products containing even trace amounts of these minerals, a move that could have choked global supply chains. With China controlling about 70% of rare earth mining and 90% of processing, this was no small threat. The pause, secured through deft negotiation, offers breathing room for the U.S. and its allies to build alternative supply chains, while President Trump's prior deals with countries like Australia underscore a broader strategy to reduce dependency on Chinese resources. But this deal isn't just about minerals. It's also a step toward addressing the devastating fentanyl crisis in the U.S. In exchange for having a 20% tariff on China related to fentanyl, Beijing has agreed to cooperate on reducing the flow of precursor chemicals, those building blocks of the drug that often make their way through Canada and Mexico into American communities. Working groups will soon set measurable goals to track progress, a sign that both sides are serious about tackling this epidemic that's claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. It's a rare moment of alignment on a deeply human issue, showing how trade talks can extend beyond economics into matters of life and death. Now, let's talk agriculture, because this deal is a massive win for American farmers, especially soybean producers. China has committed to purchasing 12 million metric tons of soybeans this season, with a minimum of 25 million tons annually for the next 3 years. Add to that additional trade agreements with Southeast Asian nations for another 19 million tons, and you've got a lifeline for farmers who've often been caught in the crossfire of trade disputes. This isn't just numbers on a page. It's stability for rural communities, a fulfillment of campaign promises, and a reminder of how global negotiations can hit close to home. Beyond these specifics, the agreement also includes suspensions of certain U.S. export restrictions and Section 301 measures targeting Chinese industries like shipbuilding, balanced by historic deals with allies like South Korea and Japan to bolster American manufacturing and nuclear energy. South Korea alone is poised to invest hundreds of billions in the U.S., alongside commitments to joint projects like nuclear-powered submarines. This is part of a broader America First push to control critical supply chains, think semiconductors, steel, and medicines, reducing vulnerabilities that have lingered for decades. So, why should you care about all this? Because this deal signals a potential shift in how the U.S. navigates its role on the world stage. It's not just about tariffs or trade balances. It's about securing strategic resources, protecting lives from crises like fentanyl, and ensuring economic stability for American workers. However, challenges remain. The one-year pause on rare earth controls is a temporary fix, not a solution, and the U.S. must accelerate efforts to build domestic processing capabilities. Meanwhile, domestic political gridlock, like the ongoing government shutdown, threatens to undermine these global gains with economic disruptions at home. As we watch this story unfold, it's clear that leadership and diplomacy can reshape the economic landscape. But the clock is ticking on some of these temporary measures, and the real test will be whether both sides can sustain this momentum. Stick with us as we keep an eye on these developments, because in a world of interconnected supply chains and geopolitical chess games, every move counts. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode with more stories that matter.